Hey, how's it going, everybody? Finally got a pickups video for you guys. Anyways, it's mostly going to be PlayStation 4 games, which some of them I'm going to talk about, and that has to do with download content, as in add-on content that you get for free, or just outright free games, which sometimes work and sometimes don't, and it doesn't seem to matter on the damn expiration dates from what I've found on these. It's just luck if you're going to get it or not. Otherwise, I do have a small handful here of 64 carts. I'm going to show you guys that I got at one of my local pawn shops for $2 a piece, which on that's cheap enough, but man, any more than that, no, I would have passed on them because they were pretty nasty dirty. So I was taking a chance that they'd be working all right. Unfortunately, all the filth was on the outside and hadn't gotten on the circuit boards or anything. So, what I got here is Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero, Yoshi's Story, Diddy Kong Racing, and Earthworm Jim 3D. You can see the labels. Not only were they dirty, there were some tears at them. They just weren't taken care of. Or somebody got them out of the trash, which one of them looked like it was pulled out of trash. I mean, it was really nasty. But cleaned up good enough with soap, water, and just a little bit of getting into the hard spots with a magic eraser. So anyways, $2 a piece. It's where at least one of my pawn shops gets retro stuff. And usually when it is game carts, they're really fair on their prices. They don't look it all up. It's just, this is the flat rate. Alright, now for PS4 games. This one I got a couple of days ago, so I'm getting into it. I've been playing it for a few hours today, and I'm liking it so far. And this is where the stinking codes that they give you on the downloadable content get weird. So as it where you get a bonus content download for Towley, your gaming bud, where once that gets installed, he'll pop up occasionally just to give you a hint on what to do. And then the other one, which I think I just got lucky on or something, all I can say is if you guys find this with the codes and it's used, give it a try. You get the free game of Stick of Truth. So anyways, it's South Park, The Fractured Butthole. And pretty much brand new, man. Could be one of those things too to where the person that had this just opened it up, checked it out, didn't like it, and never used the codes. So like I say, man, a lot of it's luck. But on the one for Towley, it's dated to where obviously it's good until we have the PS4 implant or whatever, as it expires 1/1/2099, and it's just a small little file to download. This one was about 13 or 14 gigabytes for the full game. But what's crazy is it expired on 1/31/2018, but it still let me download it. So cool. Now I got both games on PS4. Otherwise, I have played Stick the Tooth on PS3 and loved it. The game is freaking hysterical. So far, not as funny yet. It does have its humor, but I'm waiting for the sick shit. I got a sick mind when it comes to humor, and so far, none of that yet. But it's getting there. I can tell it's getting there. It's gradually getting funnier on the people you fight and stuff. Let's see. Find a place to set these damn things. Alright, this one I haven't popped in yet. It's another recent pickup. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. And it's all just the single player campaigns for Uncharted, Uncharted 2, and Uncharted 3. Now this, damn good. One of them I already had. This is the 2-pack. Which figures I buy one of them and then now I find the 2-pack, but I'm happy with it. So this is Wolfenstein, the New Order, and then Wolfenstein, the Old Blood. Old Blood I've already played through. Same thing with Wolfenstein, but on PS3. PS4, it looks way better, man. Just sharper, more detailed graphics. It just looks better. Big difference on quality. And practically like new. Now this one, I've played it all the way through with just using the standard controller. Now I'm doing a playthrough because I finally got my hands on some Move controllers for PSVR. Oh, so much funner. It's way funner with the Move controllers. This is a great game. It's basically just an on-the-rails type shooter, kind of like House of the Dead and whatnot. You do have some choices on where you want it to go as you're on a roller coaster. So there'll be something that you got to shoot at and then it'll change tracks. So it's not the same thing over and over. But man, just a lot of fun. Anyways, this is Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. Definite must-have for PlayStation VR. Another Wolfenstein game here. This one, I played it all the way through on easy just to get used to all the boss fights and where everything is. And what's cool about it is once you play it through and basically beat the game, you still have the Enigma codes to solve, which once you solve them, you put it into this computer and it brings up little mapped areas where you can go after the scragglers that you missed. Kind of like an assassination type thing where you got to take people out. So, gives you quite a bit of gameplay, man, because I'm still looking around for them. I've maybe gotten about halfway through on the Enigma codes, maybe, if that. So, definitely worth picking up. Story's good. Depressing at times. There's things that will just gross you out or just tick you off or just mess with your head. I love animals. I could never hurt an animal. And there's a part to where I think no matter what you do, you're going to end up hurting the animal in a bad way. But let's say the person making you do it gets his in the end. That's where it just screws with your head. Which in a way, what they're trying to do is give you the backstory of Blazkowicz. And I don't know if this was one with bonus content or not. All I got was just this, and then I don't even need that. It's just for prey and whatnot. Yeah, it's just instructions for the controller, but no add-on stuff, so don't know. Maybe it was a limited edition as it's in one of those tins. So, pretty cool. So now I got all three on PS4. You know, this game, I haven't gotten that far in it, man, because it is an ass kicker, but one of the best games I've played in VR. All kinds of settings to help you on the whole motion sickness thing, where you can just get in there and screw with stuff until it just feels comfortable, which that's what I did, and I haven't really gotten any motion sickness playing this one. Graphically, it looks good. The monsters in it are good. The story's good. The weapons you get are good, man. I just like everything about it. Definitely one worth picking up. It's the persistence. Now for one that I don't know if it's definitely worth you guys picking up unless you can find it dirt friggin' cheap. I paid $20 for it and I felt like that was too much. It just feels like one of those cheaply made games to where they didn't even bother to fix all the little problems in it. Just kind of threw it out there. Almost feels like one of those games you download on your freaking smartphone. I mean, it's like that. It just gives me the feeling like they got to the point where they really didn't give a shit. Where it's not horrible. I mean, it's definitely one worth playing, but it could be so much better. That has to do with the VR. I had problems with the VR. Not only motion sickness on the whole moving around thing, but on trying to pick stuff up was giving me motion sickness. Because I don't know what it is. It's almost like they got the height wrong when you're in VR. And what's crazy is you're holding a flashlight and you feel like it's mounted to your head, or you're holding it like this. It's just really awkward on the feeling when you're doing it in VR. And then when you're trying to pick up stuff, like if I'm picking up something off a table or out of a cabinet, the cabinets, somewhat I could get it to line up in VR. When it was on a table, I had to get down on the friggin' floors and down on your knees and then reach up like this to grab it, where the little hand icon would not show up. So I don't know if it's just an outright glitch or if they screwed up outright or what. But I'm doing better just playing it on standard using the regular old controllers. This one does not let you use the move controllers. It's just standard PS4 controller. So if you guys can get it for like $10, go for it. It's more of a hide and seek one so far. And so far there's only one ghost or whatever of this girl that you're following around, where if she attacks you, you at least get one chance to where you gotta hit the freaking X button really fast, and then you'll kind of stagger away, and if you can hide without her finding you, that's your second chance. Otherwise, anything sees you, you're pretty much dead. So it's trying to find the right places to hide. It's Home Sweet Home. Plays a little bit like Resident Evil on the whole just haunted house type thing, and you're going from different places, from your home, other people's homes, large buildings, whatever. You kind of just teleport here to there, depending on the scenario. And it's all based on time mythology for the monsters. Now this, I've already played it on PS3, so I just wanted it on PS4 to get the better graphics and stuff, which it definitely looks better on PS4. And this is one to where it didn't let me use the code. It said somebody else had used it, and I can't download it. But that's just a little bonus level type thing to play parts of the original movie. So this is Alien Isolation, Nostromo Edition. This is the Nostromo Edition part that I couldn't download. Otherwise, I played it on PS3, so cool enough. Now this game, I've only just started playing it. That was after updating it. That's where they did weird on this. I think they pissed off enough customers to where they just decided, okay, here's an update to make it better. Otherwise, like I say, I haven't played it too much, just a little bit to try it out, so I can't really say too much about it. Otherwise, it's what it is. And even that they updated it and made it to where you could do this thing that you couldn't originally do, there's still some limitations. And I think it has to do with upgrading your character, which, if you're going to do it, give it all. Give it all. Don't be all stingy. So anyways, this is Friday the 13th, the game. And when you first buy it, it's only going to let you play the full game online. Otherwise, if you play offline, all it seemed to let me do, at least, was just go into options or just figuring out how to play it or whatnot, but you couldn't actually play the game. So that's where, let's see, 10 gigs or more for the update. It was a decent sized file. That made it to where you can play it offline, but the way they do it, it's for all the different locations. Instead of playing with online players, you can have up to 7 people as bots, and then you just got to hunt them down. And so far, I've only been able to play as Jason. They say you're supposed to be able to play as the victims, to where you're trying to hide from them and see how long you can last. That I haven't been able to do yet. So I say, man, it seems to kind of limited on what you can do offline. Otherwise, if you can get it for $10, it's worth picking up if you got high enough speed internet to download that update file. That ticked me off, man. A lot of these, I'll pick it up in the pawn shop on a whim, and I don't bother to look at this a lot of times because I'm in a mad rush to get out. And that was it, man. I didn't realize it just said online play required. So at least they fixed that. This is another one. I've had this one for a while, but I got kind of bored with it, so I didn't get too far. Maybe up to the, yeah, I got as far as where his father gives you this code to put into a computer to where you can find this planet that I guess you're supposed to eventually get to. Otherwise, I'm waiting for the true action to start. But not too bad in VR. This is Loading Human, Chapter 1. And I guess you get to build a relation with that chick there, which also hopefully means you can destroy that relation and shoot her out into space if the game pisses you off. So worth it for $10. I wouldn't pay more than that for it. Now this game, I've gotten up to the final boss, and man, this game is an ass kicker. On the way it plays, it's a lot like Bloodborne, where you really got to have the stats on your guy pretty damn high to get past each boss and whatnot. Some of them, once you figure it out, are pretty easy. I mean, there was one guy, once I figured it out, it was stupidly easy to where you're basically standing in a safe place, killing them. I mean, it's that easy. And then there's other ones, oh, once they get in your face, you're dead. Especially the final boss that I'm up to. But I did have some graphical and sound issues with this game until I updated it. Anyways, this is Lords of the Fallen. On the graphical issue, had to do when you're making your guy turn left and right, you get that kind of choppiness in the screen. That it fixed. And then on the sound, it would be when I'm talking to somebody, and it started pulling that when you run into the girl that starts breaking the codes for you and whatnot. Anyways, shows the two characters talking, and you'd see their lips moving and stuff, but all of a sudden it was like it was hitting the mute button. You wouldn't hear them talking. You just see it, and then you'd see the text if you had it set up for that. So it also fixed that in the update. And graphically, looks good. The only thing that I didn't really care for was the whole thing to where based on your character stats on what you upgrade on this, that, or the other, strength, wizardry, fuckery, whatever, depends on what weapons you can use. I want to use all the goddamn weapons. So there were some weapons that looked badass, and I got the strength of my guy just ripped out, but you had to be like really strong in the wizardry field or whatever. Otherwise, he'd just pick it up like a toddler. Or he couldn't pick it up, or he'd just swing it too damn slow to where it was useless. But then the weapons I could use, which was mainly like short swords and stuff, I was kicking ass. So, another one worth picking up if you can get it for cheap. This game, I really like it in VR, but there are some spots in it where it just instant motion sickness, mainly when I was in caves or whatever, just closed in areas, or just going up and down, where it would just hit me with it. But out in big open areas, not a problem. And they got all kinds of settings in this one to where you can suit it for you depending on what part of the motion sickness affects you. Otherwise, badass. Gives all the bonus content with it for extra levels and whatnot. Skyrim VR, definitely one worth picking up. This is another one worth picking up if you can get it for dirt cheap. I feel the same way as a lot of people that talked about this one. It's too freaking short, and there needs to be some fighting in it. It's an actual fighting. That was the whole thrill of wanting to pick this up, is I could maybe possibly fight as him, and not really. It's mostly detective type stuff. Otherwise, pretty damn cool. They did a good job on it, making you feel like you're standing in his shoes. Anyways, Batman Arkham VR. So, that's everything. I don't know when I'm going to be having another vid, man. I'm dealing with tooth problems to where I had a molar pulled and socket ended up getting infected, so I'm having to take the stuff to get the infection to go away, which doesn't make me feel the greatest. I'm not allergic to it, it wears me out. And then after that, more tooth type stuff. So it may be a while before I get another vid up for you guys. Otherwise, hope you're all doing well. Have a good one. Catch y'all later.